Hello world, welcome to Genergy on the ground.
On this fine day, we embark on a journey to delve deeper into an incredibly thrilling domain.
Allow us to dive into the questions that deeply intrigue me. What causes VR issues? In our experience, it stems from the servo regulators within our generators, which function in a similar way. Why should we investigate this area? Together, let's dive into the profound world of knowledge within this domain. Speaking of alternators, what role do the cables play specifically?
Many of you have often pointed out the chaos of wiring configurations there.
Let's see that there is no such mess, that it is very simple, okay? Moreover, I am quite confident that the mystery surrounding the neutral grounded differential will finally become clear to us.
Come on, that's interesting.
Well, come on, let's discover el alternador. I want to greet our friends from Cuba who have many followers there, and one of these questions came from there. So, well, let's help if possible with the understanding of el alternador. Look, the first thing we're gonna do is take the alternator cap off. I'm gonna use this one. Grab the screwdriver and let's proceed quickly to check it out thoroughly. Well, look, here is the ground differential of this equipment, and these are the pins, which in this case are IP67. This is the, let's say, the pin. Ground in the case of Chuco, the ground pin is this, okay? Well, here we have the alternator, you will see, because I told you about the pin here, we already have all the alternator cables. This is a single phase, that's why you see blue. Blue means neutral, means single phase. Here we have the blue. Do you see the blue cable? This is the wire, in this case neutral. This is the white, and this red is the phase. Notice that this neutral is connected to the ground wire. You see it here? They are connected to the ground wire. There is no problem. This is normal in an alternator. It means that if I look between the phase and this pin, I have 230. Between this and this, I have 230. It doesn't mean it's derivative. It means it's neutral grounded. But if I place my finger from here to the phase, 30 milliamps, we see it here. This cuts off the current from the generator. It's a very, very efficient protection system. If I have the earth spike placed on ground, the ground spike, if I touch with my finger on the phase, notice that I am not touching here, okay? Simply on the phase cable. That is, if I go here, I have the ground spike, the generator is running, and I put my finger here in the red part, the differential jumps. Why have I derived by my arm? I have derived ground those 30 milliamps and cut off my power. That's the safety of the landed neutral. That's why we see this cable here. I think it's very clear and clear. Let's now know the next question. That question, why does the servo regulator, the AVR, break? Why does it break down? Look, come on. I'm going to disassemble the AVR, the east servo regulator, so you can see, so we can understand this better. It was tight. Look, here's the servo regulator. Look, I have these bundles of cable here that confuse you so much that you tell me, what is this? What is this? Well, let's explain each of these cables so that we don't have any problems. These two are output. Here the current has already come out and goes to the plugs. Here I have the blue ones, see? And brown and white that go to the servo regulator. And here I have the white and red output that go to the brush comb, to this comb.
What does the servo regulator do?
Look, I explain it so that you understand it easily, and that is why I am going to explain to you why the servo regulator breaks. The generator in Europe must consistently rotate at 3000 revolutions per minute.
Keep in mind, 3000 revolutions per minute equates to 60 seconds per minute. 3000 divided by 60 results in a frequency of 50, which indicates how often the magnetic field shifts.
If the generator rotates below 3000 a little, the servo regulator system takes current from this capacitor that had it stored and takes it to the brushes, exciting the rotor upwards, because when it drops in revolutions, it has dropped in voltage. However, when the capacitor discharges, what it does is increase the magnetic field, and that causes the voltage to rise. So there has been no voltage drop because the servo regulator has compensated for it. It also happens the other way around. If I disconnect a strong load that I had on, the thermal engine is not able to brake in time and produces 3000. I don't know, it goes up the revolutions. As the revolutions go up, the servo, which is very fast, detects that, and what it does is lower the magnetic field so that there is no voltage spike, and it does that job in milliseconds, and it's doing it constantly. This job is a lot of work. Well, a lot of work, I don't know how to say it, a lot of work.
Of course, if I have a malfunction in the thermal, if I have a problem.
Example that the compensator spring has come loose. See videos where I explain my generator swings. I have them over there. You can see the causes, because a thermal engine swings. If it is constantly running, going up and down, 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 the servo regulator is going to be working a lot, trying to compensate for that the voltage that is coming out is as reliable as possible at those 230 volts. That leads to total absolute exhaustion until it collapses and breaks. That is the cause, one of the causes of failure of the servo regulators or AVRs. But there is another cause as well. I've previously mentioned that when a load is connected, the servo lowers the motor, the servo raises the magnetic field to maintain the voltage so that my electronic system, a welding inverter, a television, etc., does not suffer damage. And the servo takes care of that. Okay, but look, now if I have a work system, for example, I am with a welder, I have the welder with a lot of power set at close to 90% of the power of my generator, and what I am doing is scoring, that is to say salary, give me everything, I don't want it, give me everything, I don't want it, give me everything, I don't want it, because I'm pick. PC, welding, point. At that moment, the servo is working the same as if it had an engine failure. Why? Because it's trying to pick up what you don't want, give you what you want, and in that back and forth, it's very likely that the servo regulator will come to a point where it breaks down again, collapses because of this problem. Good news, whenever that happens, when this breaks down, simply what this system does, okay, is cut off the current from the cable east of here, okay, from the cable that goes to the brushes of this cable. Consequently, excitation is lost, the rotor stops generating power, and energy output ceases completely. A servo is going to produce a high voltage, a breakdown problem in equipment that is connected here. That's not going to happen. He's always the one who sacrifices himself so as not to break what you're working on.
Okay, it's a protection, a double protection. It takes care of us that there is no peak, and it also takes care of us that if it really breaks down, it cuts off the current so that nothing happens.
Let's now meet.
Cables, I had told you.
Look, here I have, as I say, the power. Here, if we measured with the generator running, we have about 70 volts. One thing, if this is a coil, this I have another coil.
To check these coils, these from the red, brown, that is white, brown, blue cable, we simply measure continuity. If the tester beeps, it means they are fine. This one is fine because it is new. This generator and these two yellow ones that we see here, coming out of here and leaving, they go up the hose. Do you see it here? These two, okay, those two are the battery charger. It is our internal charger of our equipment that comes out of the alternator and goes up into alternating current. Then at the top of the box, here is a diode. Some diodes that are going to convert that alternating current that comes from the yellow cables to convert it into direct current, and it already goes through two cables. Different colors.
There are videos where I have posted, I disassemble this picture and tell you where the diode is and explain to you how alternating current is converted into direct current to charge the battery. I'll explain where the cables go so you can understand that too. So we have already identified our cables, okay, brush cables, cables that power the servo regulator and the battery charger cable. And these two that we see here are the cables that already come from coil tension to go towards our connectors, our plugs.
To check if our coils are fine, we remove these two screws that come sealed. I'm not going to disassemble them, and we measure that these have continuity and that they do not have continuity with the frame, that they are not
communicated, that the coils are not communicated to the frame. We do exactly the same thing with the rotor rings that are in here, okay? We will also check that these two rings give continuity and that they are not derived from ground. With that, we will be perfectly checking our alternator. Look, I leave you here an enlarged video, a small clipping, so you can see how the brushes are placed. There you see, you are seeing how you have to fit the brushes and check that the coils, brushes are perfectly aligned and sticking to the copper rings, that the copper rings are clean.
If it is not clean, you have to clean them with a little bit of alcohol, for example. Keep them clean so that those coils have good contact. There you are seeing how they align, how they are placed.
Well, let's imagine that we have already changed our regulator. You have asked Genergy for the replacement. You had it wrong. The replacement has arrived and you assemble it as is, because the only thing you have to do is release this clamp and put it back on. It doesn't have any drawbacks, okay? Here's the battery charger, see? You see it, it's attached there. You release this clemma, this is the charger.
And you release this, and here you will now have the regulating sebum that we have sent you. But when you place it with the tester, even on the display, we see that it gives 240 or 250 volts because it is indeed not regulated from the factory.
We don't know which generator is going to be mounted on, and how we are. So to regulate the voltage and get us to those 230 volts, look here, close up here. There is a small screw. I don't know if you can see it. Very small. There you can see it perfectly. That screw turning counterclockwise with a small screwdriver. A small screwdriver. These that are used for glasses and precision screwdriver screws, we are going to loosen it counterclockwise. We are going to lower the voltage clockwise. We are going to raise the voltage. We regulate voltage and ensure our generator operates perfectly well. Well, up to this point, I think it is clear. We assembled our system and we would have finished. Now we know our generator better. Never remove. As a boy told me the other day, the eastern cable that was communicating. Neutral with the ground that I wanted to remove it. No, do not remove it, because that is what gives you the reliability of protection against an electronic accident. Well, nothing more information, always at Genergy S. Do you want to know more? Watch our video, subscribe, follow the channel, activate the bell, and enter the website. On this Genergy website that you are seeing, Genergy is where you see the great range of products that we have intended to solve energy problems, and see you in the next video, but with a small forbidden tip: stop learning.